Can we use any of this?
Welcome back, everyone, to S1E1, a show where each week we pick a different sitcom, watch just the first televised episode, and forgetting anything we might know about the future run of that show, rate it and decide if it's a show we want to greenlight or cancel. This week we're going to be talking about 227. 227 won 116 episodes over 5 seasons on NBC. Today we're talking about episode 1, which was called Honesty, originally airing September 14th, 1985. So to get things started, I'm Jay Gags. With me, as always, the boys, most of the boys for now, Berg, Nick, and Gordo, hopefully Joe later, we hope. What's going on, guys?
Heyo.
Hey, what is up?
Skibbity.
Joe's dealing with some technical difficulties. Hopefully he's going to jump in later on in the show, but until now, it's us. So, guys, 227, Berg, this was your pick. Why'd you pick this one?
Shut your mouth.
So actually, the reason we're doing 227, we talked about, but honestly, it was probably just me and Joe were the only two that actually felt like this was something we should do.
Definitely was.
But this is episode 227 for us as S1E1, so it seemed fitting for episode 227 to do 227.
And coincidentally, my last episode.
Yeah, so bye, Nick. We're going to have extra cooler draw someone else to fill up your spot. Yeah, no, so 227, this show, good run, not so, I mean, I was familiar with it.
How long did it run?
5 seasons.
What?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Wow.
No, it was like a known show. This was the jumping off point for Jackée. You know what I mean? This was like a lot of, actually, not even just her, Regina King, who's had a long career since then. But yeah, this was basically a show that Marla Gibbs, after having a really long stint on the Jeffersons, they basically kind of like took her general character from that show and attitude and morphed it into this. She's not playing the same character, but this was like a device to give her own show after her long run on the Jeffersons.
But I remember her being a good actor on the Jeffersons, and I don't think anybody did.
I don't think anyone was. Well, obviously we're going to get into a lot of stuff as we talk about the show. One thing I thought was actually really interesting to just bring it up right off the bat was, as I was watching this whole episode, often I was like, this feels like a play.
Jay, I was going to say the same thing.
So, turns out, this actually was based off of a play. There was a play that was called 227, and it was a stage play. It was written in 1978, and it was about the lives of, it was a little different. It was basically the same. It was the lives of like predominantly black women who lived in an apartment, only it was like set in like 1950s Chicago. Instead of here, the show is like modern day to when it came out in the 80s and takes place in Washington, D.C.
Did you guys also peg the front of this?
No, you're the only one who pegs in this group.
The front, no. Is there something special about the...
Yes. There was a long-standing myth that this was the front of the house on Sesame Street.
I was going to ask that.
So it's not, but Sesame Street has actually gone along with the urban legend that this is the same location, because it does look very similar, but it was not. But Sesame Street has perpetrated the urban legend.
The show would have been way better if she crashed into Oscar the Grouch instead.
Hey! Well, what's funny is, to tie all this in, is Rose, one of the main characters on the show, was actually Olivia on Sesame Street. So she did like 200 and something episodes of Sesame Street as Olivia. So that's funny how this is it's all come full circle.
Yep, and that's why people thought that this was the same set.
This was like she's grown up now, yeah. It just, magical creatures just no longer live in the area.
Correct. But Sesame Street was shot in Manhattan at first for its first run, and now it's in Astoria. And then this was shot in LA, I believe.
Yeah, and this takes place, quote unquote, it's DC, yeah. But yeah, no, it's funny. The whole time I'm watching, I'm like, this feels just the way it works, the way it's formatted. It feels very much like a play. And then come to find out it feels that way for a reason.
Yeah, because you guys keep playing with me by making me watch these shitty shows.
I don't think this is a shitty show, and I know I'm going to get ganged up on, and I wish Joe's internet didn't.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Listen, no. We sabotaged it on purpose so that we can just bully you.
So I can get ambushed.
Episode.
Yeah.
This is weird because like I could have saved this for my greenlight or cancel, but whatever. This show checks the right boxes. It's just so aged out of entertaining. Like it's not funny anymore. I'm positive this was an entertaining show when it came out, and the audience really enjoyed it, as stated by its 5 seasons.
I just think the bar was lower back then.
That probably too, but it's just I don't think it translates in 2025 like nearly at all. There's good and bad like any other show. It's just the flow and the pacing. It was so okay. So with about 8 minutes left in the show, I accidentally backed out of my browser that I was watching it in. I almost didn't go back to keep watching it. And I was just going to I was like, I can fake the last 8 minutes of this show if I absolutely have to, because I cannot keep watching the show. I went back and I did it anyways, but I can't remember the last time I clock watched this hard. It's so slow and it's so melodic. It's just, oh my God, just fucking move on. Like,
the ending of the show wasn't terrible. It does kick up and redeem itself a little bit, so it's not all like awful and bad.
No, I found the end incredibly predictable, and I think
it was. Oh yeah.
You could have not finished and guessed the end.
Yeah, I thought about making that a game, but then I was like, they're gonna get mad that I didn't finish
the
it.
guessing game and sitcom stuff, like the writing, like I don't think it was like heavily creative at the end. But I would say if you were to, and listen, we're going to talk about all this. We're going to deep dive as we normally do. But to get into it, like as far as like if you were to think like first, second, third act, the third act, that end part, although I wouldn't say anything was happening that would have blown your mind, I felt was by far the most entertaining and like funniest part of the episode.
Yes.
So I felt like it finished strongly.
Yes. If the whole show was like that, this would be an entertaining show.
So, and just to get into a few things, IMDb 6.7. Rotten Tomatoes didn't have like an overall score for the show, which I like to do. And then these numbers are real weird, so I don't know how to go. So their season 1 numbers on Rotten Tomatoes, 44% critic, 100% audience, and it didn't show how many people scored, so 100 seems a little high.
You and Joe.
So, and then if you want to watch this show, it is available on Hulu, so you can watch it there. And I believe Pluto maybe as well.
Oh, isn't it also on Hulu? 'Cause that's where all the shit shows go.
That's terrible.
That was good.
Right. So, but no, if you do want to watch the show, it's available too. You can watch it pretty easily.
Am I the only one whenever a show has 100%, you want to go vote to see if you can bring it down? 99.
Yeah, because I don't think I've ever had that thought.
I've always thought about that in the sense where, like, if you have like a 5-star Uber rating, all it takes is just that one guy to give you a 4 and it's ruined forever. You can never have it back. There's nothing you can do to get a 5 again.
Actually, I think that's not true. I think you can get back. Like, I think it's not a culmination of all the ratings. It's a most recent, maybe like 1,000 or something like that. So if it happened long enough ago, you can get it like washed out, basically.
Interesting.
But yeah, before we get into the show too, one last thing, S1E1pod.com. That's where you can find all the links to our social medias, everywhere you can listen to us, our merch page, all that stuff. Buy a t-shirt, drop a line. We want to know what shows you want us to cover. So, there's not much point of us doing a show like this if we're not doing any shows you want to hear. So hit us up, let us know shows you want us to do and how you found us, all that stuff. So, with all that being said, to jump right into it, starts with the intro song. I feel like, for this era, very much fitting. It's a song called There's No Place Like Home. It's actually performed by Marla Gibbs, sings the song. So Mary on the show, she's the one singing it, which is seems pretty commonplace for around this era. They seem to be doing a lot of that.
Did anybody clock the length of this? Because I meant to, and then I forgot.
Not exactly. It ran a little over a minute, but it wasn't super, super long.
It felt super, super.
The guy who composed the song, Ray Colcord, he did a bunch of songs. He's worked on a million TV shows, did a lot of theme songs, did like the overall composure for like outside of just theme songs for a lot of the shows. He did The Charmings, a show that we've covered in the past. But then he's also done Dinosaurs, Boy Meets World. He's done, work for My Two Dads, Silver Spoons, a million shows.
He's just done music, or he worked on the intros?
So he did the intro to those shows specifically, but then he's also done music for like those shows and some others.
It's so funny how some people are just good at like making theme songs.
Yeah.
It's almost like wrestling themes too, like Jim Johnson.
There's like a format for it. Yeah. Like once you realize like what the secrets to what makes it work.
Yeah, and you just like plug in different instruments. I love the Boy Meets I forgot they changed the Boy Meets World one. I like the
say
first
which one.
Yeah, I like the first one better. I'd
have to double check. I bet it was the first, but I don't want to speak out of turn. But it's like you got to learn like the secrets, like what there's metrics, right? You want it to be a certain length. Things should move at this point, and once you kind of figure out what that puzzle is, you can make it work in other instances.
Everything should just be DuckTales.
Yeah. Ooh. So this one is not like, it's the song. The song's fine. It's very upbeat. Standard clips. The clips are just, of all the cast members as you're seeing their names. It's nothing like special. Very standard intro. I don't know. If you were to watch the intro, all you can really get from it is it's a bunch of people that live in this building and they laugh a lot.
There's not a lot of substance to it.
But I had no problem with it. Again, it was fun and upbeat.
It's catchy. Yeah.
Right from there, we get into like that first scene. First scene, we see Rose. She's sitting at the top of the stoop, like on a crate. And this is building 227. This is what the whole show, it's called 227 because that's the building that most of these characters live in. It's an apartment building, 227. And she sees her friend Sandra walking by. Rose, we already said, Alana Reed played Olivia on Sesame Street. Sandra is Jackée. She went from being Jackée Harry to Jackée. Like she became a one name actress. She became like so popular on her own right. She's a very charismatic woman. She's done like Sister, which we haven't done yet. She was the mom on that. She's had a very long career.
I believe that's my first experience with her.
Probably for
all of us. Yeah. Maybe not Joe.
Joe was born and he'd already seen half the Criteria collection. So they greet each other. Sandra's like, why does this building look better? Like, better? There's a certain ambiance. Like the only thing different is Mary's not here. It's like, oh, that's it. So we can already tell that like there's some sort of a playful, like frenemy dynamic between Mary, who we haven't even seen yet, who's the main character in Sandra's role, Jackée.
That's one thing I didn't like is they never explain the friction between them. I get why Mary doesn't like her, like she's annoying, but it's never stated why the other way around.
But they are friends. You know what I mean? Like they're friends, but they're not. Yeah. She runs up the steps. It's being explained to her by Rose that, Mary left for a little while. Lester let her borrow the car so she can run some errands. So when Sandra hears that she'll be back in a minute, she goes, oh, well, there goes the ambiance. And then it cuts to the window, and in the window, there's this older woman taking a nap. Her name's Pearl. She's in like every episode herself. She's an older woman, and she's like basically asleep, hanging out of her window. And she goes, ambulance.
I did think this was funny, actually.
And then that's Pearl. That's Helen Martin. She's been, in everything. She's been in. I'm trying to think of like where you would best know her. She has a super long list of credits. You might remember her from Repo Man and Don't Be a Menace in South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
Oh, yeah.
And House Party, too.
So her character, by the way, like she's just always like, again, there's a lot of this show is fixtured around the idea of like Rose and Mary always hanging out on the stoop, sitting on crates. And her window is right next to, she's like on the lower level, so you always just see Pearl like hanging outside of her window talking to them. So that's like the dynamic we get a lot. And again, like you can see it how that works as a play. Like it just makes total sense to have this focal point of the stoop and like the character hanging out the window like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this whole thing felt like a play.
Everything screams play. The way they project everything.
Yeah. Sandra goes and sits on Mary's crate, and she's talking to Rose, and they're looking across the way, and they see Mary coming back, and they're like, oh, she's not gonna be able to park that car in that teeny space. And then as she's like, they're watching her, we never see the perspective other than them watching her, and you just hear the crash sound, and we find out that she, like, while trying to park, hit a BMW and broke the taillight.
Now, I can't remember if it was this one or the crash later. Sorry, spoiler. They use a really weird sound for the crash. I'm like, where did they find this crash
Multiple
sound?
times. It's very, like, stock sounds. You know what I mean? Like, they come from, like, just the studio's list of sound effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, like, right next to the boing. You know, just,
The Wilhelm scream.
yeah.
Ah!
Yeah, so it was definitely generic, like, screechy, like, crash type sounds. They're looking on like, oh no, that was a really expensive car. Is she okay? Yeah, she looks okay. And Sandra's like, except for those shoes.
Oh.
Again, there's a lot of back and forth between these two, as we see more of later in the episode. And they're going, Mary, you're all right? And Mary, like, walks into frame, like, from the bottom. And she's like, yeah, I'm okay. Like, well, you might be okay, but it looks like you busted the taillight on that BMW. And then she's like, oh, Lord, someone tell me those are just the owner's initials.
Wah, wah.
It's funny because they keep saying a foreign car. And I know BMWs are foreign cars, but it wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah, I was expecting like something more foreign.
Yeah.
But maybe back then it was.
Well, I mean, it is. It's a German car.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a time when we were younger, too. Like, I thought of BMWs to be like the luxury car.
I mean, they're nice. I owned a 5 Series. They are really nice. They're fast. They're built very well. But fuck, are they expensive to fix? And like everything broke on mine at once.
That's the problem with any foreign car. Yeah, it's just it's the difficulty of replacing simple parts.
I thought that was the whole thing. Like, especially like when we were coming of age with vehicles, that like it almost seemed like you could get used BMWs very cheap because they're so expensive to fix.
Well, they're a very collectible car. Like the older versions. We had a friend who, him and his brother would just collect the older, like E46, I think was their E36 I forget which one it was, but you still see them around today. They just were like the most basic of automobiles, and as long as you maintain them, they just ran forever.
Yeah, I had an F69.
I would say BMWs are also like, and I'm not a car guy, but like to me, it's they're a car that combines like luxury and performance and have that sportiness to it, like in a way that like most other like higher end cars don't. Like a lot of them like kind of lean one way or another, where we're way sporty or we're way luxury, and they seem to have kind of found that nice middle ground.
Yeah, I mean, BMW, if you're listening, Mr. W, you're listening, you want to sponsor us, we'll gladly take a BMW.
Yeah, we'll take some BMWs. Oh, too bad, Joe. You missed this one. You don't get one.
Yeah, but there's only 4.
And I don't drive stick, so I need an automatic.
Me too.
I could drive stick.
I keep wanting to say Jackée, by the way. But now Sandra's going like, oh, you're in trouble. I dated a gentleman who owned one of those foreign cars, and he used to tell me about the many thousands of dollars he'd spend for the most incidental of repairs. And they're like, it's only a taillight.
And that was in what, 85?
Yeah, I mean, it's all to scale, right? But yeah, thousands of dollars in 85 or yeah, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, that sucks. They're saying like only a taillight.
That would be like 3,000.
Thousands of dollars, which is an indescribed amount of money, does not have a value to modern day.
I think if someone hit my tail light, I don't know who it was, I'd just leave it at that point. I wouldn't even.
Well, it's tricky though too, right? Because like technically, I mean, there'd be a premium on your insurance, but I assume insurance is working the same way in the 80s, right? As long as she's insured too.
I honestly have no idea. I was wondering that if it's the same or maybe
that was. I mean, I had a problem with a few things in this episode. Sometimes it's just the logic of how things work.
Yeah.
And like the basic problems, or like, are these actual problems, or are they just creating it for television? Yeah, so they're going on about it, and the talk back and forth is it's a German car, and there's the line about when it was mentioned that it's only a tail light, and Sandra goes, only a tail light. Mary, they're gonna bring that tail light all the way from Dusseldorf. Do you know how many Germans it takes to put in a tail light?
A+ on that German city picking that one.
And the insurance thing does get mentioned here. They're like, don't worry, Mary. Like, your insurance is going to cover it. It's like, yeah, but her premiums are going to skyrocket. So it is a concern, obviously. Like, yeah, you can't, I mean, even though I said before, like, your insurance is going to take care of it. It's not like you have to cut a check for thousands of dollars, but you do pay, not dollar for dollar, though, but yeah, you're still going to take a hit.
Insurance, like, really incentivizes you to not be a good person. Like, if you can get away with it, like, why wouldn't you? Why would you want your premiums to get jacked like that? I had it happen to me in front of Jay's house years ago. It was a long ass time. I was just pulling into a parking spot up against the curb, and I dragged the side of my car up against this truck's bumper. The bumper was fine, by the way. My car was fucked up, and I was a newish driver at the time, probably a couple of years in. And I went and I knocked on the door and I explained what happened and blah, blah, blah. They fucking went through insurance. My insurance went up. It was just like, there was no harm to me just leaving. I should have just left.
Well, that's what happens here. That's the conversation that we get next is basically are you going to leave a note? That's when, like, you have, like, kind of the back and forth conversations. He's like, yeah, of course. Dinah's like, oh, what a couple Girl Scouts. Like, let me give you some advice. So Rose is saying, like, leaving a note's the right thing to do. Sandra's like, oh, when's the last time someone dented your car and left a note? It's like, well, I don't own a car. It's like, then I guess you're not really much an authority on the situation, are you?
Valid.
Well, she's like, well, I know what's right. And she's like, what's right is let that man's insurance company take care of that man's car.
His insurance company wouldn't know what. I mean, his insurance wouldn't go up, right? If his car got hit by someone else.
It's a very marginal amount, but yeah, both parties.
Now it does. But I don't think back then it did. So hit and runs used to be a little bit more clear. Now hit and runs is usually more of a premium. People used to pull insurance jobs all the time, like back in the day.
A while ago, actually, might have been in the BMW, I rear-ended somebody. Again, not a lot of damage, but you can't, like, get out of that. You got to pull over and deal with it. And I saw the damage on the bumper, and I said, listen, both of our insurance is going to go up regardless of whose fault this is. It was my fault. Regardless of whose fault this is, I will gladly pay out of pocket to fix your car. And if you tell them that and say, here's my number, here's my, like, you can take a picture of my license if you want. Let's do it off, insurance. I have it if you want to use it. But they just never even called me back. So I was like, all right, I guess I got out of that one. But had you gone through insurance, done all that, you might have screwed yourself up front instead of letting them think about it and not having to go through with it.
I had something similar happen to me. Never called me.
I would much rather drop $2,000 on someone's fucking bumper than have it go up $600 a year for 6 years.
I mean, like, realistically, it's like, not to put, like, the tinfoil caps on, but there's so much of insurance that's a giant fucking scam. And
it's fraud, if you ask me, at certain points. It's crazy, the fucking money that they are allowed to. I don't even want to get into it, but yeah.
How rare are fucking accidents, but you're paying all year long.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's a reason why, if you think about a company like, say, Geico, think of how many thousands of people that their salaries are paid based on our premiums. And
sure, yeah.
Billionaire fucking CEOs and all that stuff. And not to get into one of those wild conversations, but there's a lot of people who live their lives based on the money that is spent by us just to drive our cars around.
Flo would never do that.
No, Flo is a good lady.
Is Progressive a nonprofit? I can't remember. Are they?
I don't know.
So they're having the conversation about, the insurance. And I kind of wish that they framed the shot a little different as this was going on, because you kind of had Rose on one side who's saying, like, you should do it. It's the right thing to do. And Sandra's, doing the opposite. You shouldn't. Just don't leave the note. Let it take care of itself. I wish they kind of had it so Mary was sitting and you had one on each shoulder talking to, like, kind of represent the angel devil, but it just wasn't framed that way. Like, Mary was far right, and I just thought...
You'd think being a play, they'd have that fucking down.
Framed the right way, yeah.
Right, yeah. Like, so, like, artistically in my brain, like, not that it's a huge difference, but I kind of thought that's how they should have did it. They're going back and forth. Mary decides, okay, I'm going to put a note on the car. Sandra puts more down her head. You think Lester's going to be happy with that decision? Lester being Mary's husband. Yeah, of course. She's giving her like further examples of everything and like things that could go wrong. And now Mary's doubting it, thinking like, well, he's going to be home soon. So maybe I'll just wait till he comes home and we'll put the note on the car after I just double check with them. And I want him to check my spelling on the note.
I mean, that's fair. As someone that can't spell, I need that help too.
That's I hope it leaves before he comes and does it.
Yeah. You're buying time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we cut inside of Mary's apartment. She's setting up like the dinner table while her daughter, Brenda, is sitting on the couch, like oiling up her roller skates. Again, I mentioned Brenda is Regina King, and she has a very long IMDb herself. This was kind of her starting point as well.
Yes. What is she best known for?
Southland. She was a big role on the show Southland, but she's done a ton of stuff outside of that.
Because I recognize the name. I don't recognize her. Don't ask me why.
You might also know her from Miss Congeniality 2, Armed and Fabulous.
Maybe that's it.
And she did 6 episodes of The Big Bang Theory, which you can go back and watch. But no, she has a long list. You could go on IMDb and check everything. But here she is very young. She's the daughter of Mary. And like I said, she's just oiling up her skates at the time. And she sees her mom like setting up the table with all this stuff. And she's like, how come I had to eat a TV dinner? Like, because there I have something to talk over with your father alone. She says, I'm not getting a little brother or sister, am I? It's like, no, Brenda, you don't have to give up your room. I'm thinking, like, I understand she has to talk to her husband, but you have a daughter and you just made this, like, multi-course meal and you made your daughter eat a frozen dinner?
Yeah.
Those were a delicacy.
Is that not fucked up? Like...
My thoughts are that's just what they eat every day, but she's buttering up the husband, so she made him a nice 3-course meal.
But if you're going to make dinner now, you can give your daughter some of the dinner. That's so abnormal to isolate her from that situation.
Maybe she already made it for her before the accident.
That doesn't make it better. You still have to include your child in dinner. When you're like roasting potatoes and making steak or whatever you're doing, and then going, and then I'll just nuke this for the kid for 2 minutes.
To be fair, TV dinners were definitely better back then.
Were they?
Were they? Yeah.
Well, no, they're definitely way more processed now. Like they're probably closer to legit food back then.
No, I think they were slop back then.
Yeah, I think the early ones were all kind of gross. Now you can go to Trader Joe's and get legit delicious food that's just happens to be frozen.
No, I thought that it was the opposite, that like back in the day, they were really good.
We've talked about this with other shows like the Encore meals. Like, go back, look at them.
They were like known to be shitty. That's why it's a joke.
But I do agree with the Trader Joe's. They are one of the very few TV dinners.
I don't know. I'm looking at a fried chicken breast dinner. That looks pretty damn good. A Swanson one from early 80s. I don't know, man. Go look at pictures. They look better.
Yeah, but keep in mind, back then they didn't have the preservatives to make it so it's like, oh, this is frozen, it'll be fine to leave in your fridge for...
Exactly, that's why it was probably fresher.
But the whole point is storage and then eating it quick.
Yeah, I don't know.
I still think if you're going to cook dinner, you should include the whole family. I stand
You think there's
by
one
that
that's been in a freezer for so long we can LA beast it?
Have a good day. So regardless, Mary's looking at Brenda and saying, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm oiling my skates. Are you going to roll them around your room? She's like, no, Calvin's taking me skating. On a school night? No, tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. He's going to take me tomorrow. And she's like, well, when are you going to ask me for permission? On Sunday? She's like, no, it's going to ask you tonight. As soon as she says that, there's a knocking at the door. And it's Calvin. And he has roller skates in hand.
What was the plan here? What was she going to do?
Yeah,
this doesn't make any sense at all.
This is obviously a very traditional, especially back then, but, traditional household where you ask your parents, if you're going to do anything, especially at that age. She's getting her skates ready. Yeah, at what point was she trying to wait this out and bring it up? Because it doesn't sound like there's any world where her mom would have been okay with a last-minute ask while Calvin's there. You know what I mean? So I really don't know what her gameplay was here.
Yeah, because I thought the sticking point was the school night, but it's the permission.
Yeah, and she never asked.
And she really lays it on, too. Like she can't go skating for weeks, apparently.
because Calvin shows up and he thinks everything's fine. He's asking her if she's ready to go. And Mary's like, go where? The skating rink. Calvin, you must have been mistaken. We were supposed to go tomorrow night, right? Tomorrow? Then why'd you just tell me to hurry up with my skates? Like, unless he was going to sneak out? But that doesn't sound right either.
That's got to be it. She was probably hoping to get out without getting seen. It's never it's never fully explained.
Right. And Mary basically tells Calvin, like, thanks, Calvin. You can go skating, but you have to leave now. You can't be here anymore, essentially. And he's like, okay, is Brenda coming? No, Calvin. Okay, thanks, Mrs. Jenkins. And he leaves. And she's now, like, talking to her mom, like, well, what if I was practicing with the roller skating team on a school night? Like, would it be okay if I did that? No. What if I was skating to raise money for a famine relief on a school night? And she's like, are you this creative at school? And she's telling, you're being unreasonable. Thank you, dear. Can I go on Saturday? No. Why not? Because you lied and that's your punishment. Now, I will say, to go back to some of her things, like, if she was on, like, the roller skating team, if that was like a sport, she probably would be allowed to skate on a school night, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
On a practice.
It wouldn't be at night. It would just be after school.
Yeah, I was going to say it might have been like 4 to 6 or something.
Although, oh no, it's roller skates. I was going to say, if it's ice skates, ice time is weird. It's why hockey players have, like, practice at, like, fucking 4 a.m.
But I do see her, like, kind of point, like, no, it's not excusable. Because at the end of the day, she just never asked and seemed like she was ready to run out the door. So I really don't understand how that was going to work. But
Funny how times have changed. It's like, no, you can't go out and exercise somewhere safe. But now it's like, nowadays, it'd be like, put your video games down and go out and exercise.
Yeah.
go out roller skating or something.
Go fucking do something.
Right as this conversation wraps, you see Brenda kind of walk into her room. Lester's walking in. I don't know if he's been home the whole time or not because we don't see him. He walks in a frame and he's like, what's going on with Brenda? And Mary's like, oh, nothing to worry about. Just enjoy your dinner. Like, he's looking, he's like, oh, one of my favorites. All my favorites. And does the thing where he rushes through Grace. He goes, good bread, good meat, good Lord, let's eat. And like chuckles and like she gives the, oh, you slap. Like it's this like silly thing. I was curious. I can say in full confidence and honesty, I never once in my life had anyone say grace before I had a meal.
Yeah, me either. I mean, I am Italian, Irish, a couple other things. I mainly grew up with my Italian side of the family. So there's a lot of dinners.
Yeah, I was trying to think if there was ever a family dinner, like a special holiday.
And they weren't not religious either. Like my grandmother was a churchgoer and everything. But yeah, no, we never did grace.
I see it on TV all the time, and I don't know how much it's practiced in real life.
The only time that like I ever saw someone say grace, they weren't Catholic, said the grace, and then looked at me and said, "Oh, you didn't say the prayer. It's a Catholic prayer." And I was like, "What's that supposed to mean, dude?" Like,
maybe they were doing it for you, you jerk.
Yeah, maybe.
All of us are Catholic. We've all said that we don't do that.
Raised.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
You're baptized in the
practice.
Lord. You are there. Joe, we know, is still saying grace right now.
He's definitely yelling out God's name right now. Trying to get his computer to work. No, I just thought that was kind of interesting. It's just something that we just come to accept on television all the time, but in practicality, I don't know if that. Maybe back then it was different. I don't know. I don't.
Actually, it's the second episode in a row that did great. Or was Fresh Prince last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did it. They Ashley did her.
She rapped through hers. Yeah.
Even a rub-a-dub-dub. Thanks for the grub.
Maybe, and there's nothing wrong with saying this. Maybe we're too white for this thing. Maybe
I don't think that's what it is, though. I think Grace is, like, as I remember watching, like, other shows.
2 predominantly black TV shows both had Grace at dinner.
Sure.
I think it's your denomination.
Technically, Grace Under Fire had Grace at dinner.
That's also true.
I'd have Grace at dinner.
I'd have Grace for dinner. Ugh.
Okay, go on, relax.
No, I don't think that's it. But again, I just think a lot of, like, the religious undertones of other shows Like, there's plenty of like ones where it was whites doing it too.
Did Fonzie do it before he ate his soup?
Before he had his soup.
Yeah. Saint Arthur Fonzarelli, patron saint of soup.
I'd buy that candle.
I'd buy that. Jay.
That's a candle. That's not a shirt. You gotta go find a custom candle maker.
Put that next to the etchy homo.
What?
You never seen I don't know what it means, but the etchy homo, it's like a Latin candle, like one of those religious candles. It just says etchy homo. Gordo had it for years. It's just it just says etchy homo, and it was the only reason he bought it. Because as we've discussed, Gordo is a homophobe, so he thinks things like that are funny.
I don't have it anymore, and I'm not a homophobe.
Anymore.
No, the Lord saved me.
You don't even say grace to him.
Etchy homo means behold the man.
Ah, okay.
To hold the man?
The words which Pontius Pilate... It's Latin for behold the man. The word in which Pilate presents Christ crowned with thorns to his accuser.
Now Google itchy homo.
Itchy homo?
Sounds controversial.
There is no translation for itchy homo.
Click images.
It's just Christ.
Check shopping.
Oh, maybe I should put out a Latin meaning.
How is this still existing?
Cortisone.
For your itchy homo. Do we use any of this?
So, yeah, anyways, after Grace, Mary starts asking him how his day was. Like, oh, fine. She's like, aren't you wondering about mine? He goes, and the first time he did it, legit made me laugh.
I'm realizing now that I laughed at this show more than I thought I did.
I laughed that first. He does it again right after she asks him another question, like, are you wondering why I did all this for dinner? He does it again. But the first one, something about the timing and speed that he said it, like, it was perfect. It really did. It caught me off guard. And then she's like, come on, Lester. And he's like, Mary, can I just finish my meal before you tell me the bad news? Like, he's not an idiot. He realizes there's a reason she went all out. He's like, let me just enjoy this for what it is before she ruins my day.
I sympathize with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went through the trouble of making the dinner all nice and everything. At least enjoy it. I mean, it's between now and 10 minutes from now isn't going to change anything.
Correct.
She tells him, like, when I was coming home from doing the errands, I got in an accident with the car. The car? And she's like, no, don't worry, there's not a scratch on it, but I did hit something. Tells him it was a BMW, and he stands up. Couldn't you have hit an American car? If I could, I would have. Barry, do you know how much it costs to repair one of those things? Aren't you even going to ask if anyone was hurt? And he sits back down. He's like, I'm sorry. Was anyone hurt? And then before she even answers, he stands back up. Do you have any idea how much it costs to repair one of these things? I really liked Lester's character. Like, he
I was gonna say, I wish we got more Lester and less Mary.
He was someone who I laughed a lot, like, in the scenes he was in.
Yeah, he was he was great in this.
Did they ever say what he does for a living?
Not in this episode, I don't think. I didn't clock it.
I didn't get it.
He's asking, well, what did the guy say? There was no guy. No guy. He says, when I was parking, I hit a parked car. It was parked across the street. I thought about leaving a note. And did you? No, I wanted to see what you thought. And he goes, well, it would have been the right thing to do. You could tell he's like, kind of like, he's conflicted too. He's like, yeah, you should have done that. But he's kind of happy hearing that she hadn't. And then he goes, let me see if I can see which car it is from here, which one. And he goes over to his window. And she's like, it's the red one with the broken taillight. Oh, you mean the one that the police are towing away? And apparently the car was also parked next to a fire hydrant. So now it's being towed.
Oh.
I wonder how insurance would assess that. He's parked illegally and she hit him.
Yeah.
That's true. Actually, you know what? I did not think of that of all things. That probably would get you out of it, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I would imagine that you're put in a position to hit a car that's parked illegally. So yeah, I would say that goes, yeah.
Although as a driver, you're always supposed to be aware of your surroundings, you know what I mean? So, I'm not sure how that works, yeah.
If any of you were in insurance out there, can you tell us how that would work? It's got to be one, right? one insurance guy. And bonus points, you can DM Ferg with your rates for insurance.
I'm looking for better insurance.
I mean, if it's a great rate, you can DM me too. But so now we cut outside, and it's probably the next day. We see Rose and Mary, and they're walking down the street. And Mary's explaining to Rose, I was ready to write the note. Lester was ready to put the note on the car. It's not my fault that they towed the car away. Oh, no. What else could I do, Rose? Well, you could have put the note on the car yesterday. Well, yeah, I know that. And if I had to do it all over again, I would have. And like, as she's saying that, like they're reaching the building and like heading up the steps to sit on their crates. And she's saying, what do you want me to do? Hire a blimp? Like put up a big sign, put up billboards all over town saying, everybody with a busted taillight, please contact Mary. Like, I can't do that. And then you cut to Pearl, who's outside the window. She goes, well, you could try walking across the street. What? The car's back. And it's like, oh, good. And Rose is telling her, now you can put that note on like you said you were going to.
Rose pisses me off. Mind your own business.
But yeah, she really just like, she's an adjutant to me too. Like, it's just, and I get that's like, this is the point of the premise of the episode, right? But she's just such like a whiny little narc. It's just like, shut up. Like,
I mean, she's just, it sounds like this whole crew, you know, fairly God-fearing people. And Rose seems to have the most issue with doing things that are morally not correct.
yeah.
But
Yeah, until the shit hits the fan later.
true. So they're standing out there. At the same point now, we see Calvin and Brenda walking over. And we can learn through like quick dialogue in the beginning. Apparently Calvin is Pearl's grandson. And he stays with her. And then the two kids are talking to one another. He's saying, if we can't go out tonight, when can we go out? Brenda's going, I don't know, Calvin. Maybe when I'm a lot older, I might get my freedom then. Oh, hi, Mom. Calvin says hi to them as well. And the two of them like head inside. And Rose is asking Mary, what the hell was that all about? Like, oh, she's mad because I punished her. For what? For not being honest. And then she gives Mary that look. And at that point, Mary realizes she's wrong. She's like basically yelling at her daughter, not yelling at, but punishing her daughter for doing something that she's now doing herself, which is not being upfront to, you know, correct the situation just because you got away with it. So she tells Rose, hand me your pencil. So she's going to start writing this note. We cut back inside and Lester's on the couch. Mary is at the table, like near it. And she goes, how about some pie, honey? Oh, no, thanks. I'm full. Besides, I got work to finish. It's your favorite. Well, it used to be my favorite, but I've had it so many times. And she like puts it up to me and goes, whoopie pie. And the crowd goes.
I thought this was pretty funny too,
wild.
but not as much as the crowd did.
Yeah.
The erupt of laughter from the crowd seemed a lot for the joke.
Have we had pie talk?
If we, it might have been a while, but you know, we've definitely had it.
So before you ask, my favorite is pecan pie, Gordo.
Banana cream. I say pecan is really good.
It is. It's just very hefty.
It's very rich.
Yeah. You can feel like the Caro syrup circling your veins.
Probably like a pumpkin for me. Fun fact, if it doesn't come up, Ferg doesn't like apple pie.
Oh, I hate apple.
I don't love apple pie. Like apple pie is whatever. It is far from my first choice, though.
It seems like such a weird thing to dislike. If you like any type of pie, I feel like apple is like a standard.
I don't like cooked apples. I like apples on their own. I just, once they get cooked, I don't like it.
Apples, bad for dieting, just FYI.
Huh. Did not know that.
Because of the calories or the sugar?
No, there's so much sugar, it spikes your insulin and makes you like way hungrier like 40 minutes later. So like it like, I mean, you know, calorically and nutritionally they're fine, but if you're on a diet and you're watching your calories, it's not good.
I like a lemon meringue pie.
Lemon meringue's good. Like I'm not a huge key lime. I'll eat it.
No, I don't like
if there's a key lime there, I'll go for it, but I don't, you know. I would say my least favorite is probably cherry pie. I don't like cooked cherries at all. They're gross. They're too tart. They're ugh. I don't like the consistency.
What if it's from Warren?
Maybe.
Rhubarb pie would be like my least.
Oh,
favorite.
rhubarb.
I've never had it.
I had a strawberry rhubarb pie recently, actually.
What do you think Joe's favorite pie is? Probably a good old cream pie, right?
He does say most weekends he finds himself, at the very least, Googling him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Joe,
hey,
welcome to the
Wow. Speak his name.
I wasn't going to drink tonight.
We were just talking about how your favorite pie is cream pies.
How dare you?
So Mary's looking outside and she's noticing that note that she left on the car still has not been looked at yet. She's looking out the window and trying to figure out, like, why hasn't he looked at it yet? It's been all day. Why hasn't he called? Lester's like, don't worry about it. It's like, well, there's a note there with my name and phone number on it, so everyone's going to see it, and I might as well be tacked up in some men's room.
For a good time, call Mary.
The note to Jackée would say, "Do you want to crack my taillight?" And to that note, I say, "Yes, ma'am, I do." Because Jackée is such a babe in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
You get when Mary jokes about like getting like weirdos who call, and she does like a little voice like, "Hello, Mrs. Jenkins, you want to crack my tail light?" Like, I did think that was funny. I wasn't expecting that from her.
Look, I got a lot of laughs out of this one. I was really intrigued to see what you guys thought of this show, and I guess I'll check back in.
That was my first laugh of the episode.
You didn't laugh at Whoopie Pie? I got a laugh out of Whoopie Pie.
No.
Whoopie Pie was funny. And I said earlier, my first, I think, legit, like, chuckling thing was when he went, like, when she asked, like, do you want to know how my day was? So I mentioned this at the start of the episode. I was like, I need you for some balance, because I knew all three of them were going to, like, have a guttural hatred of this show. I'll tell you, like, we'll get into it. You know, I have plenty of complaints with this episode myself, but I needed you to be the balancing act that I didn't have from the beginning.
So you want Joe to just talk the rest of the episode? We'll all leave
Yeah, would you like to be alone with Joe?
for the balance.
I honestly, if I couldn't get my computer to work, I was gonna like make sure tomorrow just record like a half an hour dissertation on my love of 227 and be like, just insert this somewhere. I don't know where you want to put it.
Obviously, this is a situation that's been getting to Mary. She's just really nervous about all of it. I don't know why she's like this uppity about it. At this point, she's done what she can do, but I guess like the financials and everything that could happen.
She let stupid Rose get to her.
Yeah, so she's telling Lester like she can't even sleep, and then you realize that to be true because you cut to the next morning and you just see her sitting on her crate outside, like completely nodded off.
I like the. Did she just stay up all night looking out the window at the car?
Yeah, just because he hasn't looked at the note.
One thing that attracted me to this episode, and like it's a just different architecture, but like where we're from versus DC or New York, it's not so much stoops, it's all back porches. Like we live in the land of like triple decker houses with back porches. And I spent hours and hours on back porches drinking and like watching the neighborhood, you know, like as a teenager or like 20 something year old. And it's weird to be like, I'd feel so uncomfortable on street level where like people could just walk up and like punch you in the face doing commentary on the whole neighborhood. It's so much nicer being like a level above, you know?
I love the idea of Joe sitting on a stoop and someone running up and just punching him for no reason.
Just like ripping on the neighbors for no reason, being sarcastic, and some actual tough guy punches me in the fucking throat. Yeah.
It seems just like it's a big thing that's like ingrained to like who they are as people, because like these again are all people who live in the same building. They could just meet up in anyone's living room and hang out, and like I don't know, just in the area. I don't know if it's like more indicative of the area or what up, but like this is what they do. They hang out on the stoop.
Oh man, the outside world is TV back then. It's not like it is now.
Stoop Kid.
That's their entertainment.
Yeah.
Gordo, I definitely did think of Stoop Kid watching
Me
this
too.
now
Me
with
too.
adult eyes. Yeah.
Voiced by Budnick.
All right.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Go back and listen to our Salute Your Shorts episode. So yeah, so she's like nodding off on the crate. Rose walks out from inside the house. Mary, I'm so glad I found you. I think I found the problem. The answer is right here in this gardening book. And she's like, Mary? And you see, again, Pearl from outside the window going, poor thing said she couldn't sleep all last night. Sandra heads over and goes, what happened to Mary? The tedium of her everyday existence finally get to her. Mary wakes up and goes, oh, I had a bad dream. Oh, no, it wasn't a bad dream. It's still there. Looking over at Sandra.
I meant to look up what a taillight repair costs, but like, it's not that much, right?
You got to look at it up on a BMW though.
Yeah.
BMW.
That I guess that's true. It's a BMW, right? It's specialized, but like even then,
What they're saying though then is true, like true today as well. Cars like BMWs, because it's a foreign car, every little thing is expensive to fix. It's small as a taillight, it's a thing because everything's imported and made specifically for that vehicle.
I guess nowadays too, we live in the world of like not even bootleg, but like repop everything, right? Where like you can get a knockoff version of everything, you know, like if you have like a Honda Civic or something, it doesn't fucking matter, right? There's 10 billion of them in the world. You can find parts for that, but
We were talking about it earlier. I had a BMW for a little bit, and towards the end when everything was breaking on it, one of the things that made me finally be like, all right, I'm done with this car is I could not get. I needed rear springs in the back suspension. Could not find them other than direct from BMW for an insane amount of money. Like they just weren't made for some reason, unless I was looking in the wrong spots. Yeah, it sucks.
So Mary's looking across the street at the car and she's like, all right, that's it. I'm going to go find the owner. And then as she stands up, you start hearing another like big screech and then a crash, like another from the soundboard, basically car crash sound.
what do we expect to happen here though? Because Mary backed into it trying to parallel park into a spot. Something that makes total sense in the city. We're expecting that a car just went flying down this crowded street and then just crashed into one single parked car.
Yeah, bad luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's obviously in a new spot because the last spot it got it towed.
Only this time we hear a car drive off afterwards. So they're all going, oh, did you see that? They smashed the whole side of the car and didn't leave a note. And then Sandra leans over to Mary and goes, well, why should he? Yours is already there.
This is good writing.
I was going to say this story arc here, like this idea of dealing with like the good versus evil. Should I leave a note? Should I not leave a note? And then when she finally does the right thing, someone else hits the car and now it looks like she's going to get pinned for all of it. Like, I do like how that stacked up.
I'd like to know the benefit of the other guy driving off. It's not like you're not going to have to use your insurance to fix your car.
Well, as we discussed, though, it's cheaper to have you pay to fix your own car than to, get your car fixed and then have your insurance go up for the next fucking decade.
But his insurance will probably go up.
Or he could claim that he got a hit and run. Who knows? So,
Or it's a stolen car. Like it could be any other scenario too, right? Like if you see that on like, cops episodes all the time, right? It's like, why did you run? It's like, because the car's stolen. You're like, I guess in that scenario, you're already committing a crime, right? You just fucking go for it.
So now that things have like made its way to reality after Sandra said that, even Rose is flipping now and like, maybe you should take that note off. Like you can't even see the taillight now. And they're telling her like this could be a $15,000 repair at least.
I'd love to know what she used to stick that note on that it stayed on after this accident.
Yeah, right?
Like gum. It's like,
Like if he didn't drive it like or anything, like a nice little just under the windshield note will hold.
that's a bummer too. You know what that means too? That everyone in that neighborhood's insurance is just going up so hard too. Because like you start getting a bunch of car crashes in your neighborhood because you have street parking, those insurance rates are rising.
Yep.
So Mary gets up, looks at Rose, and goes, I'm not going by myself. So Rose gets up to go with her. As they get like two steps, like it never really leaves the perspective of as if they were sitting on the, like I said, kind of all goes back to the play thing. So there's a lot of reacting to things you don't see. So now again, as they get up, they look across the street, and as they take about a step forward, they see someone coming out this time around. So they run right back to the stoop area. And they're all talking to one another, and they're saying things like, oh, wow, that's a big man. And then, like, every time you would have Sandra, who's just like in awe of him going, yeah.
He's in a mood to kill.
Yeah. Did anybody else get Blanche vibes?
Yes.
If every horny television character by default, yeah.
Which weirdly, every one of them from the 80s who are older makes me like, I want that. Yes, give me that. I don't know what that is about maybe I should be back in therapy. But they told me I was fixed, so I'm probably fixed. It's probably fine.
So with all those yes, so he's big and he looks mean. And finally gets to the point where Sandra goes, I think I should go talk to him, and like goes to like get up and like, stop it, get back here. That man's not in any mood for talking. And you get from the window, Pearl goes, he's in the mood to kill.
He's going to get his gun. Pearl just seems like a hee-haw character in this episode.
Right?
She's just like in the window and pops up like she's in the cornfield, like says something pithy and like falls back again.
I like to think she just doesn't have a back half. Like animatronic.
Oh, she got back half, all right.
Heyo.
They see him like looking in their direction and like act normal. And you see like Rose and Mary like flipping chairs and trying to like, you know, they're overthinking it. They're looking at stuff, but they're not really. And they're trying to look busy and look around. Meanwhile, you see Sandra standing like in the front of the house, just like waving, very animated, you know, trying to get the attention of this dude across the street.
We'll let her go over.
Yeah, I wouldn't have stopped her.
Like, what are you doing? You trying to get him to come here? No, why would I want a big, handsome luxury car owner coming over here?
We do find out he is big and handsome and owns a luxury car.
Sure, yeah. So,
You don't think he's handsome? He's obviously big.
well, I don't know.
Jay isn't comfortable right now. Not your type. All right. Well, if there were a bunch of zombies around you, he'd be your type.
Yeah, and he's tough enough to go head to head with Leatherface.
We'll talk about this later. Hold on.
Ferg and I like itching. like we want to talk about it so bad.
So they notice this guy runs back inside. Like, I wonder what he did. Why he didn't come over here right away? And Pearl goes, he's going to get his gun. Like, that's nonsense, Pearl. Men like that just use their bare hands. And then Mary's going, well, he's got my name and phone number. All he can do is call. And as all this conversation's evolving, like Rose is so flipped now. She was like the one who wanted to do everything the right way. And now she sees him and she sees everything going on and is basically like going against like her better will and just telling Mary all this advice that's complete opposite now because she thinks it'll just help protect her.
I would have sent Sandra over to flirt and be like, get your hands on the note. Like,
Yeah, that's the move that you'd expect, right? Is like they try to sneak the note back and say like, I saw a car hit you. And also like even all of them watched a car hit them. Be like, hey, look, we saw a car. It was this kind of car, this color. It's like a really easy way to talk to them. They all fucking saw it. They call the cops. Every one of them is a witness.
the only thing
True.
is because of the perspective, we don't know how far away that was. They could have got a make and model or a plate or anything like that.
That's true. We don't know if they're like right across the street or like half a block down where you're like, it was a brown Chevy. At that point, they're like, that's not helpful, right?
It's the city and street parking is not easy.
As someone who lives in the city and has to park in the street, it is not easy.
I one time had my car hit while I was actually on our porch watching it, and and I was definitely drunk, and it was definitely like an 18-year-old or a 17-year-old kid, and I had to be like, hey, I'm coming down. And I definitely scared the shit out of that kid. And I forgot all about that until I was doing one of those phone cleanup things, and I have his name in my phone as like, Chris hit my car, because it's like, give me your fucking phone number. And he's like, okay. And that's what I listed him as. And he tried to be like, can I just pay for it? And I was like, sure, man. But cars are made of plastic now. So they were like, well, it broke every plastic clip. It's going to be like $15,000. So we ended up having to go through insurance. Because he tapped a Honda Fit and it exploded the front end. That's a different thing about this episode, too. Cars were made out of metal back then. You died in them, but the car stayed totally fine.
Yeah.
So as they're scrambling, trying to figure out what they should do, Sandra's like, I know what to do. Like, trust me. And even Rose is going, maybe you should listen to her. So Mary's like, what? What's your idea? It's like, you got to utilize your femininity. Like, look helpless, bat your eyelashes. She tells her, I'll loan you mine. And she's saying, that's ridiculous. She's like, last week, I ran a red light. Policeman pulled me over. I smiled, flirted a little bit. And they asked her what happened. She goes, let's just say a court date turned into a dinner date.
Have you guys ever tried that before? Gotten pulled over and tried to flirt your way out of it?
All the time.
Till I got shot.
Let's say Jay's not the right person to ask for this, I guess. Right?
Didn't work.
You know, officer. I've been drinking a little. You look like Jackée in this light.
So
He was trying to do the breathalyzer and he's going,
I tried, yeah.
Did the breathalyzer disappear?
Now,
You had to cup the batteries.
Mary's telling her, I can't do this. Sandra's like, well, there's another way. Before we even get into what that way is, I just felt like at this whole point, like, is this realistic? Like, even with the note, she could, in theory, still just tell this dude the truth. Or at least tell the insurance company the truth. Like, there's no way that, like, everyone could just not believe. She left that note doesn't mean like she's on the hook for all the damages on the car no matter what. Like someone's going to believe her.
He's not going to believe her.
Yeah.
But she can still tell the insurance company that wasn't really me, and there's no proof that she did it. So,
but also there's like 4 witnesses that somebody hit the car like full on and had like this whole thing would have been avoided if they like had called the cops right away and been like, I just saw a hit and run and it was like a brown Chevy or
but they're worried about the note. Yeah, it's not.
I know
realistic.
that, but they could then say like, look, I tapped the car.
No,
You can see
I'm
the note.
agreeing with you. I'm saying like they're so concerned with the notes. They're not even being logical here. All this like we need to devise a plan and all this stuff. Whether or not this guy believes that the note was from a day prior and all you did was bang up the taillight and just through wild, unfortunate luck, this guy's car has been hit 2 days in a row. Even if he doesn't believe that, it doesn't mean your insurance is on the hook because you wrote your phone number on a piece of paper.
Right. That's also like not a binding contract. That's a very good point.
We cut inside now, and Mary's on the couch talking to Rose, who's like standing up next to her. And she's telling Rose, like, I don't like this. Like, it's not honest. And Rose saying, well, Mary, sometimes dishonesty is the best policy. So she's totally turned at this point. The number one, like, you got to do the right thing throughout the whole episode. She's telling her, like, Mary, I don't like this either, but I don't want you owing like $15,000 in repairs.
And again, I know we do a lot of old episodes and you have to pull out the inflation calculator. The one time you can kind of get their side on this is that equals it to like 45 grand now.
15,000 now sucks. Yeah.
15,000 now you'd be like,
Yeah.
I don't have that. So instead 45 now you'd be like, what organ do you want? Like that's so much fucking money.
Fun fact, a testicle will fetch you $1 million.
Which one?
No one made that distinction.
For what though? Is it for
A
like
testicle.
a child making?
Yeah,
No,
but
I
who
understand
needs
that.
a testicle?
I don't know. I saw it on an Instagram reel that somebody had said.
Oh, so you sourced it to a real news source. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Were you buying or selling, Goda?
Neither. It just popped up.
Again, we always joke about your algorithm. That's never popped up for me.
It will now.
So this conversation exposes the plan. What Mary says to Rose, but Sandra pretending to be me? Oh, come on, Rose. She's like, just give it a try. She says, I just don't want it to go too far. And then Sandra walks out and she goes, mop, tired apron, pot holder. Do I look like you now, Mary? She's like, this has gone too far. And it's like, oh, I know what I'm missing. Those silly gloves you always wear when you're doing the dishes.
I'm not gonna lie. This worked for me.
Yeah, I was like,
going, ooh.
I don't know what this cosplay is, and I don't know what button it's pressing, but the button's being pressed repeatedly. Does anybody wear gloves for doing the dishes? That's like, I feel like a fairly old-timey thing. My wife does.
The giant big yellow rubber ones or whatever?
No.
I have them. Yes, it depends. Like if there's like a big cleanup, like a lot of pans, I'll throw them on. But if it's just regular dishes, no.
No need. You can rock
Shut
'em.
up, bitch.
You shut up, bitch. I was a dishwasher for a while. No gloves.
No gloves.
No gloves.
Wait, I can see wearing them in an industrial scenario where like your job is to wash dishes all day. Like
No.
that's gonna be tough on your hands. At home,
No, they have
I
an
don't, but-
industrial dishwasher that the things all go through.
you still have to scrub though. Stuff sticks to plates.
No, you do,
I
a fair amount of scrubbing as a dishwasher.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I feel like I wash my dishes almost to the point where they're clean before I even put them in the dishwasher. Which
This
is
just in, guys. You do a fair amount of scrubbing as a dishwasher. If you didn't know.
You heard it here first.
Yo, someone contact Linda Ellerby.
I'm trying to think what the fucking Sesame Street news reporter is. Is it Guy Smiley?
Depending on what era, it could be Kermit the Frog.
Kermit the Frog here.
She's going, Sandra, you sure about this? Of course. And then she kind of lays out the plan. It's like basically for the listener, but she's saying it to Mary. I'm Mary Jenkins. When that handsome car owner comes over here, I'll convince him I'm responsible for only the taillight, not for the total annihilation of the side of the car. And then you promise to send him a check for the damages for the taillight, right? Which I will send him. And then that will be that. She's like, not if I'm lucky.
You know what? I want to know what was going to happen, though. What was their end game? Let's pretend everything worked out perfectly to plan.
Me too.
Was she just going to be Mary forever in this relationship if it works
Just
out?
till the wedding.
He lives across the street, too. Like, even if the relationship doesn't work, you still have to play this. He lives across the street. Like, you can't.
I guess you hope you you use it as like a meet cute. Like later, you're like, look, I'm not related. It's her friend. Isn't that funny? Like, this is how we met. We have a story forever now. Like, it's the only way you can play it off.
This whole story in a show that's like very like grounded in reality, gritty, kind of not. It's not like a super goofy sitcom, you know. To have like a premise like this, which is so unbelievable to like work,
Fantastical.
yeah, like to pretend to be your neighbor to help her get out of a ticket, like. Even under a situation where the tickets kind of like might not even be yours anyways, any of these damages, it just seems a little too off. It's like we've gotten completely away from reality at this point.
Also, it's your neighbor that you don't really get along with that well. I know they're frenemies, but I feel like she wouldn't help her.
No, I feel like they're closer friends than that. Yeah.
She wants that pipe.
That's what I'm thinking. She's just very horny.
Well, he is handsome, tall, big man who owns a fancy car, so.
Introduced her to horny Frank.
That would have been a good sitcom crossover.
Patrick Duffy and Jackée.
Yeah, because Sister was happening concurrently, right? They could have had like a weird crossover where they met at like a theme park or something. I can see that episode happening.
It's not too late.
It wouldn't have been the same time. Aren't they like 10 years apart, the shows?
Sister was probably right around Step by Step.
I think Sister and Step by Step were concurrent, yeah.
Oh, I was talking about this show.
Oh, this, yeah. This
Oh,
would,
yeah, no.
he would have been
Okay,
like just off of
that makes way more sense.
Although, as I say, did Dallas was that still running in 85? Because then that's like a real catch, right? Because he's like Southern money, big mansion. When we do a Patreon someday, we should just go through every episode of Dallas. That would be a real fun
The
thing to
Dallas
do.
big rewatch, yeah.
I'd rather kill myself.
Everyone but Ferg will watch Dallas.
So the girls are all talking, and as Sandra is trying to get into her Mary character and costume, she's asking us, like, what's that walk that you do, by the way? The one where you move your legs without moving anything else in your body? Mary lunges at her. She's so mad. Luckily, is held back by Rose in the moment.
Do you guys swing your arms when you walk? I feel like I don't.
I don't do like
I feel like you're about to unlock like the manual breathing.
I couldn't tell you. I just walk. It's natural.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
about
You
it.
watch. You would know. You can pick somebody out when they're not swinging their arms. They like.
that's the thing. I always think of the person who's like hunched over and like it looks like they have dead arms.
I'm always just Ric Flair strutting around.
Joe walks with a clenched fist.
And butthole.
Well, one goes with the other. It's just part and parcel.
Clenched fist in his butthole.
Can't swing my arms. Well, one of them I can.
You walk like Quasimodo.
So anyways, after that comment was made, Mary like jumps up to like attack her. Rose is holding her back, but at this point, we hear like a knock at the door. When Sandra opens the door, on the other side is this large man named Marvin, and he's played by Ken Foray. And Berg and Joe, I know you guys are dying to talk about it. Obviously, best known from being Keenan's dad on Keenan and Kel.
What I would like to bring up right now is, guys, and I was really gonna be mad if I couldn't get my computer to work tonight, because we've gone 227 episodes, and do you know what we unlocked today?
A mantis
We
person?
finally have a fucking mantis actor on it.
Woo!
I am so
Wow.
fucking excited. I scour every side actor who's in every episode. I'm just like immediately scroll to the mid-90s, like, were you in an episode of Mantis? Man, it never fucking happened. You were in Dawn of the Dead, and you're in Mantis, and you're in 227. You are on my sitcom TV Hall of Fame, Ken Foray.
And again, you're and Keenan and Kel.
Oh, yeah, and Keenan and Kel, and a number of other fun things.
Unfortunately, Rob Zombie got his claws into him, and he's in all the Rob Zombie horror movies.
You know what? What I'm going to say in that point, though, is like he's still working and he's making money, and he did his service to us, and like let him get his paychecks.
If you look at his IMDb, it's basically like he just did like regular acting work, and at some point he was like sprinkling in the occasional horror thing, and now it's like that's the only genre he's getting any calls from, apparently, because he just does horror movies.
In the Rob Zombie Halloween, he gets killed taking a shit on a toilet. That's how Michael Myers gets his famous jumpsuit in that one.
That's right, yeah.
Just covered with poo.
Has Rob Zombie made a good movie?
I liked House of a Thousand Corpses, I like.
Yeah, that one. Dwight's in that one, right?
Yes. But even that's just a ripoff of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I liked it.
I remember seeing the movie on like a date and just being like, this was going to happen next. And like the whole movie, and it was like, why? It's like, because that's what happens in Chainsaw Massacre, and this is just that to a fucking T. I think I saw Devil's Rejects as the last one I watched.
Not bad. I don't love that movie. Like, people are obsessed with Devil's Rejects. I don't think it's that good.
I do like Brian Posehn in a Cheap Trick t-shirt. That's kind of all that I remember from that.
He walks in. Mary Jenkins? Yes, I'm Marvin Grant. Mary Jenkins, so nice to meet you. And she like pulls him by his arm and like basically rips him inside. And he goes, oh, I'm so sorry. It just feels so natural. You have very nice hands. Oh, thank you, Miss Jenkins. And she goes, Mary. And good crowd pop out of her just saying Mary, by the way.
She gets a lot of audience love in this whole scene. I also really love Marvin's response here, too. Someone tells you, like, you have really nice hands. Like, this is a weird thing to respond to. You'd be like, thank you. I don't know. Like, someone's like, you have a nice nose. You'd be like, thank you. Like, I don't know how to respond to that.
And now she's saying, oh, excuse me, how rude. My friends, Rose and Sandra, this is Marvin. So now in place of, since Mary's actually in the room, Mary is Sandra, I guess by default, they're flipping. And then as he's introducing himself, Sandra says, now don't tell me because I already know that you're that handsome gentleman whose handsome car I scratched yesterday. And he goes, well, it was more than a scratch. It's like, no, just a teeny little crack right in the tail light. I almost didn't leave a note. It seemed so small, but Sandra here convinced me.
Wait a minute. That car got towed after the taillight got hit. And then he went and picked it up. Yeah. How would he have not have seen the taillight?
And even more so, cars are notorious for being like fucked up by tow trucks and in car lots, right? Like if you got your car back at that point, you just assumed
would have blamed that on it,
Yeah.
But Ferg, you have a point. He did reacquire the car, so
I'm mad at myself for just realizing.
Yeah, but the point right now is them explaining the note, because the note was still there.
Sure, but there's all these things like this, like there's all these, when you really deep dive context, you start looking at it, there's all these little things here that don't quite add up. Like,
the show is not well written at all, but.
Also, why was his car towed is another question, right? Like, why was it towed?
Parked in front of a hydrant.
Oh, right. Sorry, I missed the beginning. Yeah. Well, that's just silly. You'd never park in front of a hydrant.
So when he's going back and forth, though, he's saying that, I appreciate the note, but really, Mary, the car is nearly totaled and I don't have enough. It gets cut off. I know, Mr. Grant, Mary just tapped your car. This is the real Mary speaking. Mary just tapped your car. Another car hit it today. I know because I was there. And he goes, really? Cross my heart. And it's like, again, Ferg, I mean, you it does make sense now. He should have been able to track at least something from the day before, because all this to him is like word of mouth, like the other car. And you would have known, there would have been something to say that there was a prior something on there. But I think, was a tail like that?
It would have even been documented by the tow truck people.
If it's just a crack, though, he may have not noticed it in the moment when he got the car back. I guess.
Yeah,
if it's just
a teeny tiny crack. And also, like, you get into your car every day, right? You walk out of your house the exact same way. You get into the car the exact same way. Unless you're going to like the grocery store, you have stuff in the back. You're not doing like a full walk around and inspecting the car. Like, it'd be really easy to miss a scratch or a ding because you're just getting into the car every day, right?
Not if you're picking it up from a tow lot.
I agree with you. That's the issue. That I would just assume, but I would assume it was the tow lot's fault.
Yeah, I would have made the accusation right then and there and said, hey, you did this to my car. I don't know how much leverage you'd have, but...
not a lot.
The reply would have been, sucks to be you.
Yeah.
The reply would have been like, give us the $100 you owe us or you're not getting your car back, and you just fucking take your car and you pay.
And especially if you have a nice BMW, I'm sure you're checking every inch of it.
Yeah, especially that. If you have like a fancy, expensive car and you're parked in a city where it might get hit, you're like probably inspecting that every day.
I inspect my car almost every day to make sure.
No, there was a point in time where the garage I park in, someone had like, when they were coming out of the spot, like put a pretty good scratch on my passenger side.
Didn't turn fast enough.
And I did not know about it until like my brother caught it, because I never walk in that side of the car. I get in the driver's seat, I drive, and then you don't see that side of the car very often. And it wasn't until I drove home one day and he was like standing there that he saw it. I wouldn't have even known.
It also 1,000% tracks your brother has like a radar for seeing something wrong with the car. Yeah.
Anyways, we have Sandra as Mary still talking to this guy, and she's being extremely flirty with him. When the whole thing about it's true, she really didn't do anything other than the tail thing. He's like, oh, well, how can I doubt someone honest enough to leave a note and pretty enough too? And then he goes, it is Mrs. Jenkins, isn't it, Mary? And she goes, yes. and then says to him, but Lester, my husband, walked out 2 years ago, leaving me penniless. My auto insurance lapsed, and frankly, I don't know how I'm going to pay you. He took everything, the money, the jewels. I haven't had a new dress in 2 years. I mean, look at this old rag. So he says, I'll tell you what, let's forget the damages. I'll let my insurance company handle it.
Did anybody else peg what was going to happen next?
That the husband was going to come home?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, not this part. But the fact that this is what I don't get.
You could project it. That's what I meant, though.
But I feel like this isn't projected here, this part at least, because that's a little bit further along. He goes, I'm going to take care of it. Don't worry. So the plan, which was for her to be flirty with them in hopes that he would say, don't worry about it.
It works. Yeah.
Works. And then she says, great. And then Mary goes, no. It's like, what is this? She's like,
yeah, why did you agree to this if you weren't going to... When it finally works is when you...
Because she took it too far. It was supposed to be just to get her out of the trouble, not to arrange a date and be married and be dating this guy and slandering the husband.
But that's what Jackae's character obviously was going to do. Like, she would have known her well enough.
This wasn't like she didn't go off script. You know what I mean? Like, she said if it went too far, she would probably stop it. But here, to me... this is exactly the plan that they said was going to happen.
I don't know. I don't think they discussed the whole husband part.
Oh, saying that the husband ran off? Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect your real life marriage. It's just this girl who's pretending to be you who is actually single.
And again, what if this worked? Was he just going to show up at the door looking for Mary for their date? Because he thinks she lives there.
Yep.
Well, this could be like a Rhoda scenario where you just think the one person lives in one apartment and deserves the other or something. We could have a Rhoda 227 crossover.
Well, there's that's a story for later in the episode, I guess, but there was a Jackée pilot.
I was so happy because I knew that unlocked with this episode, and I knew that nobody wanted to watch that, and I was like, I'm picking Jackée like 4 picks from now.
But it's not, but like the show didn't really happen. It's like,
the pilot's there, though. She moves to New York City, I think, is the premise.
It didn't air on TV. That breaks our rules.
God damn it.
It has aired on that's a story. That's a story for later. But yeah, no, I don't know. At this point, we got this guy who's saying, listen, my insurance company is going to take care of this. But Mary's stepping up against it now. And I don't know. I'm just like having a hard time tracking the logic. This, because of her kind of going rogue now and saying no, it's like kind of creating a little bit of tension between her and Sandra. And it's Mary goes to like go talk to her, like, well, it's weird. So she's like in her ear, but obviously Marvin's 2 feet away from her. Like, how about some coffee? He's like, fine, go make some. Well, why don't you and I make it, Mary, since this is your house, Mary? Mary drags Sandra into the living room.
And this is where I pegged the husband was going to come back at this point. Like, it's already projected the second she mentioned the husband.
Kind of a lost art, too, though, being like, oh, people are over. Do you want some coffee? Like, nighttime coffee is like a weird lost art. It's like, oh, people are here. We're just going to have coffee at 8 p.m., which like is a good thing, I think. Well, Jay might need some right now.
I was going to say, I need a coffee right now. But coffee after dinner is good for digestion.
It is, but so is a walk. And a walk won't keep you up all night.
No, but it cooks a damn good fried shrimp.
Funny, it went from like coming home to having your big thing of liquor to having coffee to now nothing.
So Mary and Sandra both head into the kitchen to have a little conversation with one another. So Marvin's just kind of standing there. He does like this little dance over to the couch and sits down. He's excited because he's got this date now planned. And he's sitting right next to Rose, and he looks like over at her, and it's just really, really uncomfortable and awkward. So he just like gets up and literally runs into the kitchen. When Rose runs into the kitchen. We kind of follow in with her. So now we're at this, shot inside. We're getting Mary telling her, okay, Sandra, that's it. Call it off. Sandra goes, if you give me 5 more minutes, I'll have him paying your rent.
I laughed so hard at that line.
She's the bright spot of the whole show.
You get why they would have also. I mean, it's tough, right? Because like Marla, you're coming right off of the Jeffersons, which is also bananas to think the Jeffersons went till 1985. Like, it does not seem like that show went that late, like into the year we were born, because it's a show like from our parents' generation,
Yeah.
But I think that they got a little. She's great in this, obviously, but like I think Jackée definitely steals the show.
They're going over it. Mary thinks this is all wrong. He wants to end the whole thing. And Sandra's going, well, then you tell him. She's like, I will. And then right as that happens, Marvin and Lester both run into the kitchen yelling for Mary. And Marvin's going, I tried to stop him, Mary. What's going on? And then he goes, look, buddy, you can't come walking in here after 2 years and expect everything to be the same between you and Mary. And Marvin stepping up now and like going from like working out the details of the car to now having a date with who he thinks is Mary, to now having real Mary's husband come in and him like defending her, and like the way he did it with like all that energy, I thought was really funny.
I think I would have rather have seen it from the other side, that him in the room and him coming in, rather than them busting in
into the kitchen.
Yeah,
I agree. I think that'd be funnier. But I did very much laugh at the idea of like putting yourself in those shoes. Like, you come home to your home with your wife, and there's some giant guy in there, and he's like, I'm going to kill you for cheating on your wife. You're like, well, what the fuck is going on right now?
We would have got that.
They're arguing a little bit. And Lester goes, no, man, this is my house. He's like, oh, and if you think you're going to take that too, you got another thing coming. Rose runs in between the two of them to try to stop it. And she's like eclipsed by these two like big dudes and goes, wait a minute, Mary will explain. And then you cut to later in the evening, and I guess off air, it all gets explained. So we flash forward and you see the three of them all like enjoying some pie together. So now that's
such a cop out. You don't get to see like what fixed everything. It's just now cut to the next scene. Everybody's great.
The cop out to me is though that if he became a character on the show, I wouldn't think it was a cop out, because you can totally get that like you'd become friends from this weird scenario you live together. You'd be like, oh, okay, and now I live across the street, and I'm like a recurring character, and this was a weird shared experience, and it's funny, and now I'm your friend from 2-7 or whatever. But for someone who never comes back, he'd just be like, okay, you guys are fucking crazy, I'm leaving. It's like, it doesn't make any sense for him to hang out and have coffee after that.
I want to add to that, but I'm going to wait a second on it. So they're all sitting there, the three adults at least, in the flash forward having some pie. Mary goes, Mr. Grant, I hope you didn't mind what Sandra did. Says, oh no, I'm glad she did, because if she hadn't been you and you hadn't been her, we would have never met, and I wouldn't be taking her out to dinner tomorrow night. She asked him if he wants some more pie. He goes, oh no, thanks, Mary. It was delicious, but I should be getting home. I have a busy day at the office tomorrow. Lester saying, well, listen, we'll be more than happy to take care of all the damage that Mary did. Like, no, it's not necessary. And they're insisting. He says, listen, the taillight doesn't make a difference anymore. Like, the car is totaled. And they say, well, you got to let us do something. And he goes, listen, I'm new in this neighborhood, and you're the first people I've been comfortable with. I wouldn't mind having some friends to drop in on now and then for some cooking, or maybe to watch the Redskins game. And Lester goes, hey, you got it right here, season tickets. And they agree to that.
That's so much sadder now, knowing that he doesn't come back.
That's what I'm saying. So, Joe, at that point is when I looked up IMDb to see how many episodes he was in and saw that this was his only one. And that's when it got me. I'm like, that sucks. So, like, that whole thing happens, like, whatever, being the scary guy, but we've now built up this character in the world, and he's so, like, I'm just so happy to have all these friends and people to talk to. I'm lonely in the city. And then that's it. They don't bring them back at all. Yeah.
As somebody who doesn't like football, if somebody was like, hey, I'm new in town, like, I'd be happy to pop in and watch Patriots game every Sunday, I'd be like, Could we hang out on Saturday instead? Like, you're a nice man, but I don't want to be stuck watching football in the morning every Sunday. I've got a life. They have like a teenage daughter and he works. I don't know. It just seems like a commitment.
Or they're like, I'm new in town. I'll come. Can I come over and make tote bags with you, Joe?
But this all seems like it was like an easy thing to write around too. Now, granted, there's a chance that the actor might not be available for a tiny reoccurring role. But yeah, I mean, a character of his nature, like if you saw him pop up in random stuff every year or two, like you go, oh shit. And which helps these guys at the conventions because you got more stuff for them to sign.
At least recast the character.
Yeah, if you're gonna put it in the pilot and make it such a big part of this story, like you have to have that character be in at least episode 2 or like episode 5. Like have him pop in the first season, not one episode. Like just bring him back once and be like, "Hey, Mary, that's all you need. They're at the store."
Brenda walks out from her room and she goes, "Mom, can I have some more of that pie before it's all gone?" "Oh, Brenda, honey, I'm glad you're here. We just learned a little lesson that I think you might benefit from. I deceived Mr. Grant today, and I learned something. I got to practice what I preach." And she goes, "Does that mean I can go skating next Saturday?" "No, but it does mean honesty is the best policy." He's saying, "Thanks again, Mary, and your pie was the best I've ever tasted." Brenda jumps in again, "But Mom, isn't that Aunt Rose's pie?" And she says, "I'm going to leave Mr. Grant a note, dear." And everyone starts laughing. And I didn't really understand why it ended that way.
That's such a cringy end.
For such a well-written episode, I hated the fucking ending.
Well written. We just poked 100 holes in this episode.
No, I think the story, look, sure, but I think the premise of this is a well-written 80s sitcom pilot. We do a lot of these, and I think that there's like an arc to this that makes sense at least, you know?
No, I agree, yeah.
Where there are other ones where you're just like, we're throwing jokes at a wall, and there's one tiny thread that we pull on the whole time. This feels like it's building, and like you understand the neighborhood and the people. Like I think it's a well-written universe for a pilot. I just think that occasionally some of the things fell apart because that's just going to happen. But this is a bad way to end. There's a lot of ways they could have ended this, and this was not great.
So, yeah, I don't know. It just, that final laugh, the "I'm going to leave a note," was that her saying that's how I'm going to confess to lying about the pie?
Yeah, because she left a note on the car.
So it gets a real big yuck, funny yuck, like yuck. And everybody's laughing, and that's how the show ended.
Was this canned laugh? Because that wasn't funny. And I don't think people back then would have been funny.
I would have ended it on, "Where's the daughter?" And they go in her room, and there's a note that's like, "Went skating." And they were like, "At least she left a note." Like, that would be funnier to me, I think.
There you go.
See, boom, roasted. Jackée, give me a call.
Yeah, I mean, this show, I don't know, it had a long run. We talked about it before, Joe, before you got here. It's like, it had a solid 5 seasons. As much as it was like this big vehicle so that, you know, Marla Gibbs could have like a show, and as much as it kind of like broke out Jackée, I just feel like the show is very, for a 5-season show, it feels very lost in the world.
I agree. And I didn't get to talk in the beginning. I know I mentioned it on the Amen episode, but when I sort of fell in love with this show was the summer I worked at the sewage treatment plant. I had to be there at 7:30 in the morning, so I get up at 6. And 6 to 7 every day on TBS, every weekday, was one episode of Amen, one episode of 227. So I watched this for a whole summer. I just like completely loved it, and Amen. And I'm glad it's streaming, because we cover a lot of shows that aren't streaming anywhere anymore. And I was like, I'm watching this. I don't have a lot of TV time in my life anymore, but I'm going to keep watching 227 again. I'm going to get all the way through the weird cast changes. I'll report back.
So yeah, I mean, with all that said, there's not a lot of like bonus info. Like I said, we've mentioned a lot of it earlier. Started as a play. They did try to give Jackée her own show that did not last very long. And so with all that in mind, might as well just jump right into the green light or cancel. I feel like Joe kind of just said what he was doing anyway, so might as well just start with Joe.
Yeah, I fucking love this show. I'm glad it's streaming so people can watch it. I hope if one person listens to this and goes, "I watched 227 and gave it a shot because I didn't know it existed," because shows like this just fucking disappear, then I'll be happy. I really enjoyed it as a 16-year-old. I really enjoyed it as a 39-year-old. I think that's the test, right? Like, at 2 very different points of your life, you can find the humor in a show like this. Some of the writing was obviously a little off. I think we rewrote the ending a little better there for a second, but I really enjoyed this. The characters are fun, and who doesn't love Marla Gibbs? I mean, if you think about it, she's like 95 and she's still working, which is wild. But for like over 10 solid years, she was Jefferson straight into this, and it's kind of a bummer. Like she's not like she should be like a Mount Rushmore sitcom person, but I love this show. I'm stoked we finally covered it. I'm also stoked. I love you guys. 227 episodes. Green light.
Ferg.
Yeah, it's a cancel for me. It's not the worst show we ever did. It just didn't work for me. I don't like that it felt like a play, and it really did feel like a stage show with her popping out of the window, and just the way they projected the acting just felt off from that, from a sitcom standpoint. A lot of plot holes that just didn't work, and just scenarios that would never happen. And I know that works in some sitcoms, if you do it right, but it was already not working for me, so I'm going to be a little harder on this. And then that ending, they ended it with just a big fart, and it just sucked. So it's a cancel from me, but it's, like I said, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Nick.
Yeah, this is a cancel. I didn't like the pacing at all, and I can understand. I wouldn't crucify anybody for greenlighting this show. I can see greenlighting it. I can see enjoying it. It just wasn't for me. It's really all I can say about it. I don't hate it. I didn't enjoy it though. Like, and I have no real desire to watch another episode or any more of it. And yeah, that's it. Simply put, an easy cancel, but I can't really put my finger on why. I just didn't like it.
Gordo.
Ferg, you said it ended on a wet fart. If it ended on a wet fart, it would be funnier, because that's what the show definitely needed. Acts 1 and 2, if we're going to go by the play theory here, Acts 1 and 2 were boring as fuck. I have not clock watched a show like that in a long, long time. But
You're fucking crazy. Some of the shit you pick, you're fucking crazy, man.
Act 3 was really good. It picked up, the pacing was a little bit faster. There was more going on. There was more to distract you and so forth and so on. I liked the third part better. If the rest of it was like that, I would greenlight it. But if it's going to be more like 1, 2, then it's just a little bit too slow paced for me. I didn't, and it didn't like, the dialogue wasn't there for me. It's not the worst thing because, like I said, that third part actually did save this show a lot. So it's not the worst show I've seen, but not for me. Cancel.
So, early defender of the show at the start of the episode, but I am actually going with the house. I'm canceling as well. But I'll say this. I thought, again, to break it down, I thought the last 7-8 minutes of the show were really good. And I really liked any time Lester was on. But I found that all the stuff on the stoop, which is the main kind of thing going on in the episode, that stuff was really dragging out. So, and because of the way it played, it just took a long time to get rolling. By the end, all the stuff that was happening in the house and when they were rolling out that plan, when Marvin showed up, I thought was really funny, legitimately funny. And if that had even crept in a few minutes earlier and had a majority of the episode, I could give it to it. But it wasn't even a full half that I thought was real solid. So because of that, it's a cancel from me. But me and Joe both brought it up. The fact that Marvin's character is only in this episode really sucks, because I thought the dynamic, especially him and Lester, when they go back and forth, was really funny. I just thought him in general, there was a charisma that he brought to the scenes that I really liked. And I would have liked having him as the friend. I would have liked kind of an idea where him and Sandra went on a date and it didn't go well, and that it's always kind of awkward if the two of them were in the room together. That could have been a fun thing to play with. Yeah, I don't know. I really wanted to like it a little bit more. I think that it shows you how great the show can be, but it just wasn't quite enough for me to greenlight this episode. So for that reason, again, it's a cancel. With that being said, only 1 out of 5. So I'm sorry to 227 on episode 227, but you're not getting the green light from us this time. But I want to thank all of you guys for listening. Please go to S1E1pod.com. That's where you can find all the links to all our social media, where you can listen to us, our merch page, all that stuff. Like I said at the top of the episode, hit us up. Let us know shows you want to do. Just hit us up in general. It's just really nice to interact with you guys. Let us know how you found us, things like that. Always fun talking to you guys. We appreciate you guys so much. But with that being said, that's it for this week. We'll catch you again next week with another new episode. Until then, thank you. Goodbye.
We got the best mantis.